Ladies and gentlemen, I'm your host, Exia. We are getting started. We are on our way here for round two at Donington Park. Everybody, let's switch it over here to the live feed as we watch Patrick and Mr. Christopher Shuffler dive into the pits. And we get started here with qualifying. Let me just switch this back over here. Wait till it's time to click drive. There goes Shuffler rolling out there, followed by Kowal going out in qualifying session. Just want to give a huge shout out to all the drivers and everybody participating, as well as you guys watching at home and everything else like that. As you can see, we're rocking the little cat t-shirt today. So let's take a look here. We have Christopher Shuffler. He is going to be starting us off here in that GT3 Mustang there, in that purple green Mustang here as he comes around. He's definitely was having a little bit of issues here in the wet, a little bit of a spinninella, but we'll definitely see how he can dig deep. Mr. Irfan, the two-time winner of last round here at Monza, he definitely showed the pace and performance. But can he keep it up in the pro category here in the rain at Donington Park? During the practice session, we saw he was a little bit behind, a little bit slow. So that is definitely going to be an interesting one to say the least here and see how he sets himself up. So that's definitely going to be a good one as well. So definitely keep an eye on all of that as these drivers pursue and race and that. So we'll definitely keep an eye for all of that. So Shuffy's going to be leading us out here as he's rolling around here. As he's coming up to the first hairpin of the two hairpins here in this race. Other drivers to take a look at and how well their performance was. That was definitely Mr. Dubois in that P22. Patrick there, the Canadian driver. Uh, he was showing good pace last race at Monza. Definitely have to keep an eye on him as well. And here goes Shuffy. He's going to be starting the fast lap here. Irfan in the pits. Irfan definitely not setting something right now, so we'll have to keep an eye on that as well. Maybe he'll come out a little bit later, hopefully if it dries up. As you can see in 30 minutes, the wetness is going to start to decrease and make it a little bit easier for the drivers. But as of right now, Shuffy is going to be setting provisional pole for everybody. Here he comes through. Nice and tight lines right there. Good look. Let's go over to the heli cam. Nice. Utilizing a lot of that curbing there in that Mustang going around the bend. So good on him in that pace as well. Oh. As he goes through here, and he will be coming up into this final chicane before the double hairpin. So he works his way through, nice and tight, a little bit wide there. Not horrible, just enough to get through corner. As we can see the spray. Let's see how bad the spray is. It's not super horrible, but not super amazing here. As he comes in super heavy on the brakes down into that final hairpin as he works his way around. You see him accelerate out, trying to catch all the gear and all the power. And he's going to go cross the line. What did he set? Looks like he invalidated his time there, so we'll have to keep an eye on what LaRock sets qualifying at a 132.6. Jashke in a 9/10 back. Gulzar 4/10 back there in the Lamborghini. Let's take a look down here. Anthony Molina in that McLaren. Catching a little bit of the curb. Ooh, a little bit of a wiggle out of that JP Motorsports car as he works his way up the hill and around the bend. So let's see how he's holding it. He's keeping it tight there on that line as he works his way around. He's going to come up to this chicane. He's going to be catching the 595. That's going to be Trash Panda and the 513. That's going to be James Parks here. But can he keep the pace up without being held back? That's going to be the big question. We have a yellow flag out of the SS, the number 24 car. They went back into the pits. That's going to be Jude Molina, Anthony Molina's brother. But can Anthony answer to Jude's response in that P3 spot in that McLaren there with Aiden Hasselbrock? Welcome back to the race and racing with us. It's truly an honor to have you back with us there, buddy. as Anthony Molina is about, and he slots himself P4, less than a tenth back from Jude. As right there, we have Easton sitting there in P7, Bandera in P8, Kimball in P9. We've got Liam McNeil in 10 with Chestnut in 11. The two silver drivers battling it out. Kimball slotting himself up into P10, showing the overall pit. Oh, as we see James Parks losing it there ahead of Anthony Molina on that downhill. Right there. Let's take a look here. We got Liam McNeil up 5/10 here in the Curb Sport Ferrari 296 in that beautiful purple and gold car as he comes around up to, you can see that chicane there. As he approaches it, we'll definitely have to keep an eye on the line as he goes through here. Is he going to lose a lot of time? Very smooth in and out. So now he's up 6/10, gaining a tenth out of that chicane. Working his way through, heavy on the brakes into the first hairpin. Nice wraparound right there. Beautiful work as he goes through. Here he comes through heavy on the brakes as well. Nice rotation. He is still up to 6/10, but can he gain more out of this hairpin? 6/10 will slot him up to P9, leapfrogging Kowal there in that pace as well. Now let's take a look. We got Brian Katz in that Porsche there as he comes through. Yep. All right, so he's going to be working his way up the hill, and he's going to have Kowal right behind him in this battle. Irfan is out of the pits, working his way through. Here we go. Brian Katz 1.6 into the braking marker for this chicane here. Nice and tight, utilizing a lot of that curbing to get out. Definitely helps him out here to get going. As the Kangaroo Racing Team car is definitely going to go. Is Kowal going to intrude on his fastest lap? Doesn't look like it. He slows up for Irfan, but then Irfan with a little bit of a tap, but we're going to keep going here as Katz is rolling through. 2.7 seconds up on his time. He's going to reel in James Parks. He's just trying to figure out and dig deep to get the pace that he needs to get here in this qualifying session. As he crosses the line, now he's only 6/10 back from James Parks. Let's move ourselves up as we see Bandera. He is up 1/10 and he's about to cross the line. It's going to slot him up to P12, leapfrogging Kowal. So right now the pace is definitely setting up to the people who is fast and who is not fast in the wet. As we see Andre Lloyd 5/10 up, working his way into the first hairpin. Now, the ORC Podium Hunter Racing team between Lloyd and Mr. Felix Palant back there in that P16 slot right now, trying to dig deep to get further up the grid in this battle here. It's definitely going to be an interesting one with 12 minutes left to play as Andre Lloyd slots himself up to P6, digging deep and separating in himself. Christopher Shuffler almost taking pole position, 0.092 off the pace of Alex LaRocque. So this battle is definitely digging deep for these drivers here as they're racing. As we go through, what other big mover? Now Kowalski in that camo military style themed Porsche on that downhill. Definitely looking super strong here as we go through. You see all the corners that he's taken here in that Porsche, utilizing all that curb. Look at him going side to side. Definitely knows how to fill out the lines when he's in the coloring book. Beautiful. Have a tendency of turning my head when they're racing. Here he goes, working up the hill here, heavily into the brakes. You can definitely see him. Look, Shuffler off to the side. Ooh, a little bit of a wiggle out of the Porsche. He's holding it in tight, keeping it on that dry line. Beautiful exit out of that corner. Here he comes up to the chicane. Can he keep his pace up? He's up 8/10 right now. This 8/10 would leapfrog him into possibly in the top 10 into the battle against Chestnut and Lewis. That's in that Ferrari. Here he goes, heavy into the brakes in the first hairpin. Nice, beautiful line. Now he's picked up a whole entire second. If he can hold this second, it would put him into that P8 spot here in this battle. Golzar up to P3. Here he goes through around that second hairpin. Did he find extra time? No, he didn't. He still is at a second. P9 for Kowalski in that slot for that Porsche there. As the drivers are waiting for the drivers to come out and work their way through. Let's take a look. Any other big movers? Irfan, the winner, the two-time winner at Monza, definitely holding the line in that Aston Martin as he's working his way through the field. He's going to have Andre Lloyd right in front of him, catching a little bit of the curbing as he goes a little bit wide, but manages it to hold it through. Here he works up the hill. We're going to ride along board with him in the helmet cam view. You can definitely see how much more plated that Aston Martin is, putting the power down. Not as much wiggles as the Porsche here in this race. Heavily on the brakes into the final chicane, utilizing all of it. Yeah, there you go. Stick in there through the final chicane as he works his way up into that hairpin here. As he works his way around. Let's see if he can keep it going. He was up on his time, but he was doing a provisional 135.8. He does not have a time set. So this time, even if he is, looks like he's aborting this lap. He's going to go for another flyer. Looks like he invalidated that prior one. We're going to switch over to Aiden Hasselbrock in that Macca, the driver who used to race with us a long time ago. He is a GTMR champion, and he is back for a vengeance again here in that McLaren. So we'll definitely have to keep an eye on him in the Optimum Motorsports car, the 793. He is up 1.2 seconds, so that would put him in that top 5 in that Macca in the battle. As Jude Molina goes to P2, Larock 3, Shuffy 4, Anthony Molina 5. Here goes Hasselbrock. What does he set in his time? P5 as Hamza Gulzar resets pole position with a 131.597 here in this battle as we go down. Now, Felix Palant, we were talking about him as a driver before with ORC and the Podium Hunter boys. Teammates to Andre Lloyd, Felix Palant trying to set in a good time here in this race, heavily on the brakes into the first hairpin. He's up 3/10 on his time. I don't know if it's the Audi is just not good in the wet here, or it's just how the conditions are. He's trying to dig deep right now to try to regain the pace that he needs to here in this race. As we see, he's about a 10th up on his time. He'll leapfrog into P7. He's fallen down a little bit, but this is a very long race, so anything is possible. As we see Easton and Liam McNeil queuing up to try to get out. Drivers that haven't gotten a time in here. Kent Anderson, did he get a time? It does not look like he gets a time as Andre Lloyd comes out of the pits here as Chestnut is working his way through the grid as well. As looks like Kent Anderson, he is up an entire 4/10. Irfan. So these two drivers are nose to tail as they work their way through the grid that still have yet to set a time. As we see Alan Zhu there lawn mowing there into that corner. Here goes Irfan in the Beach Dean AMR. He comes around nice and tight. These two drivers are the only ones that are on the grid that have yet to set a lap here. As we see Irfan catching the curbing, working his way out. All the way out to the line. Definitely looking super strong here in the 404. We have Kent Anderson right there. So let's definitely see. Both of them are in the red. Both of them still have yet to set a lap time. Irfan with a 32.6. And a 32.6 right now would put him in P7. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. Hopefully he did not invalidate. Ken Anderson with a 34.5. That would slot him all the way down into P17 if that was the provisional time that he set. Ooh, let's see. Did the line that Irfan get him set up here for a lap here with a yellow flag? And it does. Slots him into P11. Ken Anderson crosses the line. Was that valid enough? It wasn't valid enough for him here in this race. So right now, Ken Anderson's the only one that still has yet to set a time. As we'll jump over to Kowal. Kowal up 6/10 coming out of the first hairpin into the second hairpin. Heavily on the brakes as he hooks around. See, throttles out. Let's see what he can do with that 610s. It's going to leapfrog him up, bring him up to his brother, the Kowalczyk, in that P14 spot. He's back at 10th on that as well. And Kowalczyk up 5/10 going into the hairpin. He is just pulling away from his brother, saying goodbye, see you later, here as he goes through, coming up into the second hairpin, heavily on the brakes as well. The Wartburg edition car hunting down Josh Kimball as Josh Kimball dives into the pits here. And he crosses the line in P9 there. 1.3 off the pace of pole time here as Andrew Jaschke slots himself up to P3. The Molina brothers battling it out super close there. Chris Chestnut here, one of the ACC admins here in the Chestnut Mobile as he goes into the first hairpin. The 595 car looking super strong. Can the Panda make it stick here in this race here? He's going to have Kent Anderson in front of him as well. Kent not setting a time yet. Kent Anderson trying to dig deep as Chestnut improves in the P16. Anderson slots himself into P17 right behind Chestnut here in this race. So that's a good battle right there. Alan Zhu up 5/10, the GTMR livery creator. As you see, that is one of the specialty Porsche liveries, if you have not seen that yet, in this race. So beautiful GTMR. That was one of the Enduro liveries that we did for the ORL 6 Hours of Valencia, as Alan Zhu slots himself P22 with James Parks right in front of him as well. Brian Katz up 7/10 on his time here in the Porsche as he goes through the first hairpin. We are just catching people in that first hairpin with 3 minutes and 30 seconds left to play. What can Brian Katz do with that 7/10? Can he improve it? It's showing that he can, but the big question is can he get the power down coming out of the final hairpin onto the main straight here? Up 1 entire second. He leapfrogs Alan Zhu for that P22 spot. Slotting himself up there in that P22. Now separating himself between James Parks, Alan Zhu, and ahead of Matt Ogilvy and Patrick Allen. Allen looking super strong in that McLaren, but it's a long race. Andre Lloyd 6/10 through the final, through the first hairpin, up to the second hairpin. Honestly, ladies and gentlemen, I do not plan for this. Andre Lloyd trying to catch up to these leaders here in this pace. This is going to leapfrog him past Christopher Shuffler, as Shuffler's sitting there in P9 there, trying everything he can. He's going to try to dig deep and move up this grid the best that he possibly can. Felix Palant all the way down there in P19, his teammate trying to work his way through, as we see Irfan resetting pole to a 131.332 here as LaRock up 2/10. If he can dig deep in that Aston Martin, he could possibly retake pole back. And Hamza also up a 10th to 2/10. Hamza's about to cross the line. Did he improve? Oh, 0.033 off the pace of Mohammed Irfan here in at Donington Park, as we see Alexander LaRock coming up 4/10. He could capitalize on pole position. A little squirrely out of the Aston Martin. Can he hold it through 3/10? Now coming up to the final chicane and then the double hairpins. 3/10. We're going to ride along board with him. Heavily on the brakes, catching all that curbing. He did not invalidate. He's still up 2/10, but he's losing it. It's trickling away into the first hairpin, heavily on the brakes. Looks like he's going to back out of it and then redo. Ooh, he's going to try one more heater. He's going to try to set it and then out-qualify Irfan in this final lap shootout here in qualifying, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see what LaRock can do here as he starts his lap. We do not have any big wait. Patrick DeBow in that P20. As he comes through here in that beautifully done Mustang down into the second hairpin here as Kowal moves off into the pits. Let's see what he can do. He was up 1.3, slots himself into P15. Moving up the grid, Felix Palant up 4/10, now 6/10. Can he hold it into the hairpin. LaRock now up a tenth. We'll be moving up with LaRock to keep an eye on him as we'll follow with Felix Palant. He's got Kent Anderson in front of him. Kent is up 2/10 here. Can Felix Palant hold out there with that 7/10 as he's about to cross the line? He does. He leapfrogs Kent Anderson, but not enough. But Kent Anderson is up 6/10 right now in that Aston Martin. So right now the Aston Martins, the Fords, and the McLarens are definitely looking super strong. LaRock is backing out. He is losing time. Andrew Jaschke's up 3/10. Kent Anderson in the first hairpin. He's going to be coming up to the second hairpin. Let's see, where is Jaschke on the track? Jaschke working his way up the hill. We will jump over to Andrew Jaschke here in a second as we see Kent Anderson. He's about to cross the line. 3/10 up on his time. Boom, up to P17, catching himself up to Kowal here in the other silver class. Here comes Andrew Jaschke in the Hoonigan car as he works his way into the final chicane before the double hairpins. Heavily on the brakes, a little bit of a wiggle under the ABS, a little squirrel. He's still got time. He could find more here to out-qualify LaRock. Let's see what he can do heavily on the brakes as he bends around. A little bit wide, a little bit squirrely. Ooh, he's losing time now. He's bleeding it off. He's going to call it there with 1.2 seconds. Lost time. Ooh, my bad. And there we go. Hello, Farmer. Welcome to the chat. It's truly, we miss you, buddy. We really do. Let me know if you can hear it now. I apologize. Just a little bit of a switch that I forgot to set. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Irfan up to P1. Hamza Gulzar in the P2 in that Lamborghini Evo. LaRock, Jaschke, the Molina brothers, Hasselbrock, Lloyd, Shuffy, P. Lewis, Easton, Gwaltz, Kimball, Liam McNeil. Hey, there we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen. You know what you came here for. You came here for the beautiful pit rotation as we go through the pit grid. Hello. As we take a look on the inside of Irfan's car. So let's take a look as we back out. As you can see, we have rain, and more rain. And the track is cold. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Irfan, your qualifier, your top pole sitter. The driver who won the 2 races at Monza. Can he do it again here at Donington Park? The other drivers have looked fast. Hamza in that Lamborghini Evo, he has been looking fast as well. He knows he can put the pace towards Irfan as LaRock, showing that he can have the pace in the Aston Martin, but can he capitalize on it? Andrew Jaschke stealing the setups from Shuffy and then completely botching the setup and leaving Shuffler here back in P9. The Molina brothers here in 5 and 4. Jude showing that he is better than his brother, but can his brother outrace him? Aiden Hasselbrock in his magical return here at GTMR. Then we have Andre Lloyd up in P8. Will his teammate Felix Palant be able to dig out a P19 and work his way up? Christopher Shuffler in P9. Not the performance that he wants, but he is definitely a good driver. He can capitalize here in this race. Then we have Perry Lewis here up in that P10 slot in that Ferrari. Super strong pace. Definitely have to keep an eye on that as well. Easton, a driver, a pro one that we have to definitely keep our eye out based on how he performs here as well. He's definitely a dark horse, not just because he's driving the Mustang dark horse. Josh Kimball rocking the Rexy here in the Porsche here. He is definitely one of the higher split AM drivers here, so we'll definitely have to keep an eye on him as well in this race, see where he finishes overall. Liam McNeil here in that P13 spot for the Curb Sport. He's going to be sitting second for the silver class drivers here, so that's definitely going to be an interesting one as well as where he's going to be able to finish off. Mr. DeBow in that beautiful Rockefeller Racing Esports Team Mustang here, slotting himself into P14 in the silver class. He's going to have Kowal and Kent Anderson here and Chestnut in this battle here. These 3 drivers are looking hungry to work their way up. Bandera, a driver who was fast at Monza but seems to be held back here. I want to join this series. We will definitely send you a link here in a second for you to be able to join. Just give us a second here to join this Discord as well as SimGrid. Check us out on thesimgrid.com, and then the series will be started up here as well. As we see Bandera here. Oh, Felix Palat, as we are going to be moving our way through the grid, ladies and gentlemen. We'll definitely get you a link there. Gelsina Cruz. Truly an awesome battle with everybody here as we get going. Let's take a look here. Let's try to jump real quick. Sorry, my bad. My apologies, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, no, it is truly an awesome battle here as we have Felix Palat there down in P19, somewhere he didn't want to be, but he's definitely going to have to move himself back up as well here. Let's take a look. I apologize. As we see Patrick Allen sitting there. Oh, he manages to leapfrog a lot of these drivers. He's up in the P21 with Brian Katz in that P22 spot. So these drivers in the AM class are definitely looking to, as we see Kowalski going completely off the track there. Definitely interesting to see where he see what is going on with him, as Josh Kimball is going to be in the pits as well. And there's a Discord invite. Farmer saying sitting out for illegal ballast. DMs were exposed this morning. Exposed this morning? I have no idea what you're talking about. As we go through here, in the start, looks like Kimball's going to be starting in the pits. Oh, for fuck's sake, Kimball. No. Yeah, it's definitely an interesting one, to say the least. Now, the dark horse drivers in this race, who do we think is going to be able to capitalize here in this race? We have Irfan in that P1 spot. I think definitely we're going to see Aiden is going to definitely make a lot of moves here in this race. He's showcased the pace, the performance, and everything else like that. He is definitely going to be one of those new drivers that we're going to be keeping an eye on as well. As we see, Andre Lloyd is super strong driver, very clean, very quick, very fast. As the drivers reach the first hairpin, all the other drivers are super slow to catch up to the field here. So this is going to be an interesting one, as everybody's bunching up a lot, trying to get their brakes warmed up before the start of the race. So this is going to be an interesting one. We have 1 hour of pure wet racing, ladies and gentlemen, and we are about to get going. We're going to jump over to Helicam here as we watch these drivers work their way around. Hopefully nobody gets caught out with a drive-through. You can definitely see a lot of moving around here in the grid as the green light is about to go. And away we go, ladies and gentlemen. The pit is open in case if there's any damage, and then the drivers can drive into the pit. Oh, DeBow with a drive-through at the start of the race as Hamza goes around the outside. Andrew Jaschke on the outside trying to make it stick with LaRock, but he doesn't make it. Jude Molina, Anthony Molina battling it out side by side. Oh, Aiden Hasselbrock making the move early, getting past the Molinas. He is definitely attacking. Christopher Shuffler taking a look on the inside possibly, but he's going to back out. Can the Molina brothers hold out as we see Hamza Ghazar working his way on the back end of Irfan as they work their way up the hill? That Lamborghini is definitely having the pace to chase down that Aston Martin as they work their way through up the hill. Here, as we take a look, we're going to move further back down the grid as the Molina brothers separating themselves. Aiden Hasselbrock now being attacked by Anthony Molina. Christopher Shuffler looking to capitalize on this on the inside. He does make it stick in the Ferrari as we see Andre Lloyd in the back half area taking a look, trying to see what he can do. Christopher Shuffler heavily on the brakes. Anthony Molina parking it on the apex. Christopher Shuffler having to back out. Now this is going to allow Andre Lloyd to definitely move in on the back end of Christopher Shuffler as they work their way through into the heavy braking zone of the first hairpin. Shuffler covering the inside, holding them off as well as they work their way through the grid. We're going to definitely drop out here. Here goes Patrick. Patrick's going to have a drive-through. He's going to have 3 laps to figure out something. Well, 3 laps to figure out how He's going to make something work here as Ken Anderson is now in the hunt against Patrick. Patrick is going to serve that drive-through at the start of the race here as he dives into the pin. Easton working his way through up the grid. He's managed to get Colwell now up to the P13 spot. P. Lewis, and then we also have Liam McNeil here in this battle as well. Liam McNeil definitely showcasing the pace he can. James Parks up to the P17 spot here in that AM class as he works his way through the grid. Ooh, as we see Kowalski and Katz getting a little bit of the rubbing is the racing here in this series as they work their way downhill. Beautiful camera section here as well as we switch over. Here goes Aiden on Jude Molina. Aiden definitely trying to figure something out here with that battle between his brother as well. Shuffler still sitting in there as they freight train their way through the grid. Ladies and gentlemen, how do you think the start was? Definitely let us know here in the chat as we watch the drivers work their way around the grid. As we see Andrew Jassy definitely trying to keep himself separated, and Irfan now separates the gap to 1 second here, definitely setting a commanding lead here with that Aston Martin as these drivers go through the grid. We're going to slot ourselves further back down here as we take a look. Let's take a look here. Shuffy definitely super late on the brakes. Goes super wide. Andre Lloyd overshooting the apex there in that hairpin. Something possibly could have been at play, but who knows on what is going to be happening here as Perry Lewis slots himself into that P9 spot here as he's trying to chase down Shuffy as everybody else is freight trading here through the grid. We're going to make our way down here as Easton, Ken Anderson, Andre Lloyd in the battle. A little bit of a tap in the back area. There you can see Bandera and Kowal as we go through here. Easton taking a look. Andre Lloyd trying to make something happen on Ken Anderson as they work their way through the grid. Down the hill they go. Can Andre Lloyd make something stick as they go through? As you can see, Easton in that 4, trying to hold it tight here. Lloyd going a little bit wide, having to auto-correct his line here in this race as he goes through over the curbing. Can Easton capitalize? He's taking a look. Definitely not having something set up. Chestnut there trying to wheel and deal and get their way up here as well. As they go through, let's take a look. We're going to slot our way further back in the grid. Kimball definitely trying to, ooh, as Bandera goes super wide there. And let's take a look here. What other battles do we have? We have Kowalski and Patrick Allen here in this battle here as they work their way through the grid up to the final chicane. As they go through here, we're going to jump up into the front of the grid here as well as we see Aiden Hasselbrock. He is now losing a little bit of time to Jude Molina, but Anthony Molina is all over the back of him with Christopher Shuffler on the outside looking in through the grid. Everybody, as Hamza still 1 second separation between him and Irfan. He is not giving up on this battle between this fight as Anthony Molina losing a little bit of that front end in the squirrely attack here against Aiden Hasselbrock, with Christopher Shuffler losing a little bit of time to those Maccas as they work their way downhill. Ken Anderson and Andre Lloyd, the three-way battle for 11, 12, and P13, digging deep here in this battle on the downhill. Andre Lloyd taking a look on the inside. Ken Anderson closing the door off. Easton definitely watching from the outside in before he makes a move here as they work their way up the hill. You can definitely see how these drivers are trying to be cautious, but also trying to capitalize in the rain. You can see the separation on the grid right now between the drivers as they work their way around. Ooh, as Easton tries to go for a different line. Outside, inside, takes a look on the inside. Lloyd leaves a little bit of the door open. That's going to allow Easton to make the move. Ooh, Liam McNeil losing a little bit. There goes Ken Anderson around Liam McNeil. Oh, Easton going for the switchback on the heavy braking zone. He backs out of it and tries not to get into the way here as we see a yellow flag with Brian Katz on that downhill section. So as we see the drivers definitely dicing it up throughout the grid, no matter where they are placed at. As we can see Irfan resetting the fastest lap here now with 132.177 here in this race. As we see Jashki falling down the order in that P9. Ooh, he has moved further down the grid here, as now he's P9 with Andre Lloyd right behind him. So he's going to have to dig deep with Lloyd, McNeil, and Ken Anderson digging deep to try to catch up to them. LaRock now catching up to the back. Aiden Hasselbrock here in this four-way battle between Jude Molina, Hasselbrock, the other Molina, and Christopher Shuffler. Ooh, Aiden catches the dirt a little bit. It's going to have Anthony Molina take a look on the outside. He catches the dirt as well. Oh, as Anthony Molina backs out, now takes a look on the inside. He sends it deep. A little bit of a tap of Aiden Hasselbrock, and Christopher Shuffler's going to take the move on the inside. And heavily on the brakes as he goes into the corner. As we see Gelson Cruz done. I will be next Friday with the silver class in the Porsche. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Definitely an honor to have you here racing with us. Ooh, as we see Anthony Molina working his way around Perry Lewis here. As we see Ada Hasselbrock moving his way down the grid into the P12 spot here in the race. The tricky conditions bring tricky racing here with 52 minutes left to play, everybody, as we go through this grid. So now Christopher Shuffler sliding himself up to P5. This is going to help him out in that overall championship with the Pro. Aiden Cy from Farmer in the chat. Yes, it is Cy in for Aiden in the chat, but we're going to move along here as Liam McNeil. Oh, and Andre, is that Ken Anderson? It is Ken Anderson as they battle it out here down the front straight here into turn one. Who's going to outbrake who here into the heavy braking zone? Ooh, Liam McNeil sends it. Ken Anderson tries to turn in a little earlier, catching a little bit of the back bumper of Liam McNeil, which unsettles the car a little bit. But Liam McNeil is able to capitalize on pull away from Ken Anderson here in that P10 spot now, as Ken Anderson having to try to figure something out here in this grid battle. As we have Andrew Jaschke and Andre Lloyd ahead of them battling it out as well here in this fight. The next closest battle is going to be Josh Kimball versus Patrick Allen here, as we'll jump over down here. Here goes Josh Kimball and Patrick Allen. Porsche versus McLaren. Rexy versus Macca. And here they go through up the hill. The Porsche of Josh Kimball catching a little bit of the dirt, throwing his braking line off here, as you can see with that line. But James Parks is in the background on the outside looking in, trying to make something stick. And now we're going to switch back up here in this fight, because right now Andre Lloyd, Andrew Jaschke, and Anthony Molina are now battling out. Looks like Anthony Molina possibly has a little bit of damage on that Macca there, because right now he is not separating a whole lot with Andrew Jaschke on the outside looking in. Jaschke did have the pace to put himself up to P4 against Andre Lloyd in this rain. With 50 minutes left to play, I'm gonna lose my voice. But that's worth it for you guys. I just want you to know, as we watch Jaschke, and then we have Molina and Lloyd. Molina loses a little bit of the back end. Now that's going to allow Lloyd to dig deep and catch up to this grid here, heavily on the brakes as they go through. Now Easton in the battle. He's going to have Aiden Hasselbrock, Liam McNeil. Let's drop down here and take a look as Easton, Ken Anderson, Aiden Hasselbrock, Chris Chestnut in this battle. Aiden's going to try to make something stick. He is all over the track as he is pushing. He knows he has the pace to capitalize against these drivers. But can he keep it calm and collect through this whole entire race in the rain? As Liam McNeil now separates himself a little bit. Christopher Shuffler now on the back end of Jude Molina. We're going to switch over to that here in a split second, but we're going to see how this battle develops as Aiden Hasselbrock making it work around the outside to the inside here. Down into the heavy braking zone. Ken Anderson closing the door, squeezing over the line there. Now that's going to ruin his line as he exits out. As now Aiden now getting attacked by Chris Chestnut here. He's going to hold off the brakes. Now here we go. Shuffler on Jude Molina here for the P4 spot in this race. Can the Mustang driver make it stick and work against the Macca driver here in this race? Now Hamza Gulzar resets fastest lap here with a 132.170. 0.007 faster than Irfan, and he's reeled him in less than a second in that Lamborghini here. as they work their way down the hill. Ooh, Shuffy catching a lot of that curbing with a little bit of that bounce as they go through. Ooh, Molina loses it. Shuffy's going to try the outside as they work their way up the hill. Jude is going to concede to that position to allow Shuffy through, not to pull in front of him and throw him off balance here. Shuffy now having to settle in and work his way through as we see Ada Hasselbrock still working with Ken Anderson, Easton. Ooh, Easton definitely regaining his composure, allowing the two drivers through. Now he's going to hold off Chestnut here in this race here as Aiden now trying to take a look. Jaschke's off the track. He loses the back end. Aiden now the switchback maneuver. He's going to try the inside. Ken Anderson closing the door a little bit, but Aiden's going to have it here. Now as they work their way up to the chicane, is Aiden going to try a switchback on him up into the braking zone? It doesn't look like he's going to try the switchback here in the heavy braking. Easton still trying to work. Ooh, Aiden gets the better line in the Macca. He's working his way up to the grid. Here goes to the P10 spot. Tries the outside, inside. Switches back heavily in the braking zone. The Macca holds it, but he goes wide. Ken Anderson's going to get the switchback on Aiden. Aiden's, oh, the beautiful run out of Aiden. Ken Anderson's had to lift a little bit to allow Aiden through. What a beautiful play. Here heavily into the braking into the second hairpin as we see Chestnut overshooting Easton here. But now Easton in that Macca, in that Mustang, trying to hold off Chestnut here in that Ferrari as the Ferrari is trying to make moves here on Easton in that Mustang here as we see Andrew Jaschke diving into the pits. He may have possibly roasted his tires here with everything. Definitely have to keep an eye on that. And now goes our 310s back from P1. We will be switching over to that here in very shortly. We're going to see if Chestnut can make a move on Easton. Easton running a little bit wide, but that Ferrari is looking super strong here. Oh, we're switching over. The battle. Gulzar gets past Irfan. Irfan now taking a look at Gulzar here for the lead of the race. Gulzar now covering over and taking the battle here. This is going to allow LaRock now into the fight. We have a three-way battle for the lead here at the start of the race. I'm going to have to drink some water here. I'm going to lose a voice. Now, as we see Gulzar now holding it off. Irfan, LaRock, the 1-2-3. As we see Felix Palant and Josh Kimball in the background. They're battling it up before they reach the chicane here. As Gulzar in the Lamborghini Evo. For those that are new that are watching, Gulzar is on the wheel of the death. He has 6 cars selected for him. He has to pick one car in the race, and that one car that he selects is the only car that he can race that race, and then after that he cannot race another car in the series. So right now he's already done the Jaguar, he has done the Lamborghini Evo. Kimball up to P16 God tier setup in the comeback. He is digging deep in that P16 slot there for the AM class driver. As Gulzar now separates himself. Irfan under attack by the other Aston Martin driver of LaRock. LaRock trying to make something stick here as they go through in this race. We still have 45 minutes left to play, everybody, and we are digging deep here in this battle right now. Now we have Anthony Molina going super wide. He's losing it a little bit. The Delta showed us that they were battling it out and they were super close, but can he hold it and make it stick here? Can he get the run on the Aston Martin, the 2 wet cars that are super good and super fast working their way through? Oh, as we see Liam McNeil and Aiden. Now Aiden trying to make his move on Liam McNeil. He knows the pace of Liam McNeil, and Aiden knows the pace of... Oh, as Liam McNeil goes wide and allowing Aiden to get past there. It's probably the better move there to allow him through here. It's because right now Liam's battle is with Ken Anderson, ladies and gentlemen. As we jump back up here, LaRock still trying to chase down Irfan as Gulzar now a second ahead of Irfan here in separation here in this rain race. As we go through now, we're going to switch over to Kimball here in this battle with Felix Palant. Josh Kimball taking a look on the outside, inside with the switchback battles here with everybody. Oh, as Felix Palant loses the back end under braking. That's going to allow Josh Kimball through. Now Felix Palant having to dig deep here in this rain race here. He's definitely going to have to make something happen here. Definitely that Audi does not look super strong here in the rain whatsoever as we go through. Now we're going to slide back up with Easton. Easton trying to chase down Chestnut. Chestnut getting past him as well here in this battle as DeBow dives into the pits. He's going to serve his pit rotation as well as we go through. Let's take a look at the battles here in this series. Do we have anything close? We have Anthony Molina and Andre Lloyd here. That's the closest one. They are 7/10 trying to reel him in. LaRock trying to catch up Irfan in that P2 spot. He's sitting there P3 in the championship so far as they go through. We are going to run the order right now. Ooh, as Easton, we're going to jump along board Easton here. Easton now, ooh, Chestnut losing the back end. He's going to have to save. Now that's going to allow Easton through here. And they, look, there's a plane. And as they go through, you can definitely tell the drivers are having a lot of issues with the wet water, with the wet track as they've been battling it out here as well. A lot of the drivers, Molina dives into the pits. Is this going to be his pit? Did he lose it in the pits? I think he lost it. Oh, that's got to be a horrible start. He is in the pits. Oh, that is just horrible. Losing it in the pits. Oh, man. And now he's got to serve his pit road. That is a very bumpy pit road, I will have to say. As we'll go down the order right now here in this race. We have Hamza Gulzar in P1 here in that Lamborghini. Mohammed Irfan in that P2 spot. LaRock P3. Christopher Shuffler in that P4 spot in that Ferrari. Getting chased down by Jude Molina in that P5. And then you can see Andrew Jaschke there in between Jude Molina and Perry Lewis. But Andrew Jaschke P23 with Perry Lewis in the P6. Andre Lloyd in that 7 here. Aiden Hasselbrock up 2/10 on his time as he's chasing down Andre Lloyd in this battle. Liam McNeil. Ooh, Liam McNeil losing a little bit to Ken Anderson. This is a battle that we've been seeing throughout the whole entire race. As Ken Anderson called out that he was going to win the Silver Class Championship. And Liam McNeil said, nope, I'm coming for you. As we can see, Ken Anderson going super wide. Liam McNeil reeling him in here in this battle. So far, ladies and gentlemen, let me know what your thoughts of the race so far is. It seems like it is definitely turning out to be a spectacular one here in the rain. Let's take a look. Let's take a look on the inside of Liam McNeil. Patrick DeBow with the disconnect here at the end of the pit. At the end of my pit stop. Wow, that's so interesting. Are you able to rejoin, sir? By chance? Just very curious on that one. And he was doing a very big dig deep race here at Donington. I'm sorry to hear that, good sir. It's truly an honor to have you racing here with us. I will have to say that as well. As we go through, Josh Kimball now on the back end of Kowal here. Josh Kimball looking super strong in that pace of that Porsche here as we go through. He's now hunting down Kowal in that silver class for the AM driver. ACC has, so it's not here. Okay, all right, cool. Josh Kimball definitely trying to take a look at the back end of Kowal here. Trying to roll through here heavily on the brakes. Ooh, can he make it stick here? Ooh, Irfan now less than a second from Gulzar here with 39 seconds left to play. Jude Molina now chasing down Christopher Shuffler. It is getting it's getting digging deeper here in this race as we see Jude Molina now chasing down Christopher Shuffler. Shuffler trying to is Anthony Molina playing a team play here to hold up Christopher Shuffler. Anthony Molina slots by, allows the drivers through, does not try to impede in the race. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful as the race shall go on. hey, as Queen used to say, the show must go on. And now, what can Shuffler do in the battle against Jude Molina here? Jude Molina, who is going to be my teammate for tomorrow for the 6 hours of the IndyCar race. I mean, sorry, not Indy. 6 hours of Indy. GTP, LMP2, GT3 on iRacing, ladies and gentlemen. Definitely check us out at Exia_GTF1. For that series, we will be streaming that race for you, ladies and gentlemen. As Jude Molina now in the hunt against Christopher Shuffler, heavily on the brakes. Shuffler holding off his line. He is definitely making Jude work for it as they work their way down the back straight. As you can see Jude's car, they're heavily on the brakes. Jude reels him in. And there you see Christopher Shuffler in that all blackout outfit. Oh, Kowalski with a drive-through. Oh, the track limits are harsh. You definitely see in the camera zones Jude Molina right there in that hunt against behind him there as Josh Kimball now catches Kowal. Here we're going to jump aboard. Now, can Kimball make something stick here against Kowal? Heavily on the brakings. Ooh, a little bit of a squirreliness out of Josh Kimball here. Coming out as he chases down Kowal. Takes a look on the inside. Kowal holds off. Kimball trying to make a move on the inside. Kowal cuts off in front of him. Oh, heavily on the brakes. Now Kimball's going to have to try to make something stick here around the bend. We're going to jump along board the dash of these guys. Up the hill they go. Side by side, heavily on the braking. Oh, Kimball having to back out. Kowal was not giving it to him. But now that's going to allow Felix Palant to reel in Josh Kimball here in this battle. Farmer definitely looking at this and going masterclass driving for Kimball to try to reel in this grid as he's moving up the grid as well. Let's see what Kowal can do. He covers over the brakes here with Kimball right behind him. That wing is actually pretty big. As they go down into turn one, Kowal now he's having to cover over the back end of Josh Kimball. Josh Kimball trying everything he can do to make something stick. Definitely see that spray from that other Porsche in front of him. Beautiful run here by these drivers. Let's see. Looks like Christopher Shuffler has been able to separate himself from Jude Molina to a second, which will now give him a little bit of a breathing room. But now Eiston's 4/10ths back from Kent Anderson. We're going to switch over to that here in a second, but we got to see how this plays out. So there's a battle for P9 and a battle for P12 here in this race. Looks like he backs off a little bit, allows it through. Now Eiston on the back end of Kent Anderson. Anderson going outside, inside, taking a look here. Oh, but now you still have Liam McNeil. Anderson goes super wide. Oh, Eiston with the acceleration. Can Eiston hold it through here, going into turn one? Ooh, you can see a little bit of a corner of Ken Anderson's car here as they go through. Oh, a little bit of a squirrely Anderson having to back out of the corner here. That's going to allow Liam McNeil to the attack. Liam McNeil now. Oh, Liam McNeil had to back out of it. There wasn't enough space for him to make the attack in that Ferrari. Kowalski in the pits. Allen in the pits. Ooh, a little bit of a squirreliness out of Liam McNeil here with Anderson's trying to separate himself from Liam McNeil as they work their way around the bend. Jude now 777s to Christopher Shuffler here in this battle. Kimball 3/10 off of Kowal here in this fight. So now we've reached the 33-minute mark here in this race. Ooh, a little heavy on the brakes. A light tap. Now Liam McNeil going for the attack into the hairpin. Side by side, they work their way through. Looks like the Aston Martin was able to capitalize on the brakes. Ken Anderson going super wide. Tries to close the door. Liam McNeil makes the move on the inside. Kimball got him. It looks like Kimball did get Kowal here in that battle. As we see Liam McNeil working his way through turn one. Now Ken Anderson is on the fight. He's going to take the charge here. We're going to jump in along the board in the dash of this Aston Martin. Surprising for those that do not know, the Aston Martin is very good in the rain. It is a little bit slow, so you almost have to really understand corner entry speed and corner exit speed. But the car is super good on the rain. It has got a lot of performance here in this race here as he's trying to chase down Liam McNeil here in this race. As we go through here in this battle, as they work their way up the hill. As we see, looks like, oh, Kimball's in the pits. Now that's going to be a bold strategy count. We're going to see how that plays out for him. As we see Kowalski in that battle against Alan Zhu, he had to serve the stop and go as Alan Zhu allowing Hamza Gazar through in this race. So Josh Kimball now serving his pits. Irfan, the leaders are now catching up to a few of the back markers here in this race. So that's going to be an interesting one as well of how this is going to play out here in the rain. But now we're back to the battle. The Formula GT of Ken Anderson against Liam McNeil here as Ken Anderson got past Liam McNeil in this battle. I'll be curious to see what happened there in the fight here as these two are duking it out. Ferrari versus Aston Martin. What money do you have? Some could say Aston Martin now that they have Adrian Newey, but that will be definitely an interesting play to see how that plays out. Felix Pallant's in the pits. Kowal's in the pit. Jude Molina's in the pits. As you can see, the drivers are now doing their pit rotation here at GT Meister Racing in round 2 at Donington Park with your host Exia here in the stream, in the booth, definitely showcasing everybody's pace and performance as we see Ken Anderson definitely holding off Liam McNeil here. Liam definitely giving him the run for his money here in this race, trying to set something up. You definitely see Liam McNeil super heavy on the brakes, definitely trying to get that gap separation and then trying to reel that in on Ken Anderson. Anderson definitely holding his line for where he needs to keep it. But you can see Liam McNeil was much more confident on the brakes than Ken Anderson here in this battle. As we see Christopher Shuffler is in the pits, Perry Lewis is in the pits, Andre Lloyd is in the pits. The question is, as Liam McNeil gets a better run, but now you see Ken Anderson. Ken is going to have the run on the inside into the final hairpin. Liam McNeil going to try a switchback. Is Kent going to try to go super wide? Kent is going to dive into the pits. This is going to allow Liam. Was that a smart decision there? As Liam McNeil is going to go super long. Now the question is, how much longer is Liam McNeil going to run that pit stop strategy against Ken Anderson here in this race? Because if Ken Anderson can get, if Liam McNeil can put a good separation on Ken Anderson against these guys, you know, the separation can be definitely helpful for them in the long run here in this battle here. As Felix Pallant now on the back end of Josh Kimball. And they have already served their pit rotation here as Felix Pallant trying to dig deep to catch up to Josh Kimball here in this battle. But you can see Kimball in that Porsche definitely having a lot more pace to accelerate out of the corner and pull away. As we see Chestnut dives into the pits. Let's take a look. Liam McNeil, where are you? Number 325 on the back straight, working his way down up to the final chicane here. As we see Ken Anderson still into the pits. What happened to Ken Anderson? As Kent's now rolling out, he's going to come out right in front of Felix Pilon and right behind Josh Kimball. So this may help out Liam McNeil. Liam was in clean air on that flyer as he was making his way around. But now the question is now, when Liam McNeil dives into the pits, which could be anywhere as LaRock dives into the pits, Felix Pilon with the warmer tires here making his way around. Ken Anderson definitely looking super squirrely here in that battle. That is going to hold him up. That's definitely going to help out Liam McNeil. Liam McNeil coming out right behind Alexander LaRock out of that pit rotation. So right now, Liam McNeil just has hot heaters right now to set compared to Ken Anderson. The question is, how much is that actually going to help him out in the long run as we see Aiden Hasselbrock holding Kent. Kent getting a little squirt. Did Kent accidentally put dry tires on? Because he is definitely off the pace here in this race. The question is did Liam McNeil capitalize on this? For this battle, as we see Gozart diving into the pits. Liam McNeil working his way up the grid. Now he's up into P6, still having yet to pit. Who is going for the super long runner in that pit rotation? So right now we have Irfan that still has yet to pit. Katz is in the pits. Irfan still has yet to pit. Hasselbrock still has yet to pit. Easton still has yet to pit. McNeil still pit. Jude Molina still has yet to pit. Kowalski still has yet to pit. Allen Zoo still has yet to pit. And then Kowal and Chestnut both still have yet to pit. As we jump down here, looks like the Delta was... Okay, they are not battling for position here. So right now, Liam McNeil, if he dives into the pits, as we see Chestnut and Easton diving into the pits here, and Ken Anderson back in the pits. I think Liam McNeil's in the pits. This is definitely going to help him out in the long run. I think Ken Anderson accidentally had dry tires here on the Chestnut, definitely taking an interesting approach on getting to his pit strategy. So right now, your overall leader here in this race, Muhammad Irfan, in that Aston Martin, still has yet to pit, as Aiden Hasselbrock in P2 still has yet to pit. The 793 car working their way through the grid. So now that is definitely interesting. Chestnut, Kent Anderson definitely had an interesting pit rotation as well. So that's, as Jaschke is off the track again here. So Jude Molina still is yet to pit. So Jude's going to leapfrog Easton and Liam McNeil here. Question is how long are some of these drivers definitely going to go for in this race, as Jaschke trying to get up to pace. His race so far today has not been the most pleasurable one here, especially with a lot of the spins, the off tracks, and just bouncing around. As we see Aiden Hasselbrock now diving in the pits, the P2 driver in. Did the overcut actually work? Did it help him? Excuse me. As we see Christopher Shuffler now through the final chicane, working his way up to the double hairpins between him and LaRock. LaRock now coming into the final hairpin here and onto the main straight with Aiden into the pit stop rotation. As we go through, so they're going to leapfrog Aiden as Irfan still going super late in this race. I think he's going to try to do a final splash and dash here in this race, as Hamza now resets the fastest lap in this race. So right now, Shuffy looking in that P4 spot here in this race, as he will be leapfrogging Aiden Hasselbrock as Aiden is in the pits. Now the question is where is Aiden going to be coming out of? Aiden is coming out right now. He's going to be ahead of, I think, Jude Molina possibly had gotten him already, as Jude Molina did get him. So Aiden's going to slot himself into P7. He should be right behind Perry Lewis, and he is right behind Perry Lewis as Irfan is in the pits. Now, here's Hamza. Hamza on already pit. He's on a flyer, already set the fast lap. 24 minutes left. We have a yellow in the hairpin at the 188. That is going to be Alan Zhu, who still has yet to pit. Alan Zhu going for the super long strat here, as Liam McNeil now going to be battling against Josh Kimball here. But here the question is where's Irfan going to be coming out to Hamza? Here, we do not yet see Irfan moving. We'll be jumping over to the Liam McNeil Josh Kimball battle here. As we see, is Irfan's car moving? As Hamza's coming down. Hamza capitalizing, leapfrogging Irfan in the race for the lead, ladies and gentlemen, as they move through here now into this battle. Can Liam McNeil reel in Josh Kimball in this race? I will have to say Josh Kimball has done an amazing job in this race. Same with Liam McNeil here in this battle, everybody. As we go through, definitely let me know in the chat how you think the race has been going so far, everybody. As we're going to switch over to Patrick Allen and James Parks. This is a battle for P21. As the two drivers are duking it out here, they're going to have a bit of a faster driver right behind him catching them, which looks to be Jude Molina. Molina's definitely going to he still needs to pit, and Kowalski still needs to pit, and Kowal still needs to pit. But right now, this is a battle for position between these two, and the Mac is going to need to figure out carefully where he's going to want to place to make the move. Ooh, he takes a look on the inside. Patrick Allen holding his line here because he is in a battle for position. As we see Kowalski, he is going to be diving into the pit, as that is going to be, which Molina is that? Oh, he is sliding around. As we see P. Allen's taking a look, he is not reeling in. James Parks looked like they were super close. Seems like he's a little bit better in Sector 2 and possibly 3 compared to James Parks in that Mountain Dew car, for those that don't know. Ooh, Kowalski with a 30-second stop go. Ooh, James Parks goes wide off the track. Now that's going to allow Patrick Allen through. And as you can see, it's going to slow up everybody here, as well as we're going to see Josh Kimball here working his way on the inside of James Parks. And now James Parks going super wide. That's going to allow Liam McNeil through. And then now we're going to have Isaac catching up James Parks here in this race. Jude Molina definitely going for the super long strategy cut here. But I don't know if that's going to really play out very well, as it's definitely an interesting. Looks like Ada Hasselbrock, something happened with him. But right now, so far, we have Christopher Shuffler in P4 in this championship fight with Jude Molina in P5. So Jude's going to have to pit. So that's going to cycle him further down. It's going to be an interesting one, to say the least. And now we have it. Jude Killer D99, Jude pit, but didn't take tires. Oh, he's going to have to jump into the pits and take those tires, because those tires are mandatory in this race. As we see Liam McNeil on the back end of Josh Kimball. Ooh, Kowalski still has that 30-second stop go and serving on his pit rotation as they work their way down the hill. Can Liam McNeil definitely make his move? Here heavily on the brakes. Liam McNeil on the back end of Josh Kimball here. Liam McNeil's going to have to try to capitalize as much as they can. So they're going to have Patrick Allen in front of him. Oh, Liam McNeil trying to set up the move on Josh Kimball here, coming out of the chicane. Can he make it stick? I don't think he can. As we go through, we're going to jump back down here real quick. Josh Kimball going to, as Lee McNeil's going to slide right through. Felix Palant gets past Andrew Jashty here into the hairpin. So now this is going to allow Eiston in the battle against Josh Kimball here. Ooh, as Josh Kimball goes off the track trying to recover, definitely catching the brakes. And that's going to allow Eiston to slot right through. Josh Kimball gets back on the track. Eiston and Josh Kimball door to door through as they go here. As Eiston's going to work his way down, Josh Kimball's going to have to reset as he goes through in this race. So right now, Liam McNeil, as Farmer in the chat, who was that? That was Patrick Allen in this race. Josh Kimball's going through. Let's see, Felix Palant now chasing down Josh Kimball here. And Jaschke taking out border markers. As Andrew Jaschke trying to work his way back up to grid, trying to recover what he can here in that Mustang here in this race. Heavily on the brakes, Andrew Jaschke taking a look at Felix Palant in that Audi. As Jaschke's trying everything he possibly can to make it stick here, to get past here. As we see Mohammed Irfan, he is 6.6 seconds back from Gulzar. Gulzar has now been setting lap after lap against Irfan, now definitely separating himself from Irfan in that. As see Josh Kimball trying to make his way around Patrick Allen going into turn one. So we see Josh Kimball heavily on the brakes as we go through. Eiston sitting there. It looks like Josh Kimball cleared him. Looks like he did, and they are going through down the downhill here as Felix Palant will be catching up to Patrick Allen here on the downhill. Now the question is, can Josh Kimball catch up to Eiston, with Eiston now chasing the back end of Liam McNeil? As they go through heavily on the brakes is Liam McNeil, with Eiston on the outside looking in as he's chasing him down as Kowalski gets disqualified. Probably for not serving the 30-second stop go in the race. As Jude Molina dives into the pits, he's going to take the tires that he is required to take in this race. As we see Eiston now trying to reel him in as much as possible. So we see in the chat, Farmer, Fife's coach. So, oh, is there something in the back there? Unsure what happened there, but as you see Molina there coming out of the pits, Eiston now all over the back end of Liam McNeil, and Josh Kimball is there in that battle here as we see Liam McNeil in this fight. Here as Liam McNeil works his way down the hill here. Eiston now trying to hold off Josh Kimball here as they go through. Let's see Andre Lloyd, Podium Hunters in the building. Andre Lloyd right now in that P6 spot here. We're going to quickly jump over here. The chat has called for it, and there's Andre Lloyd in that P6. Ladies and gentlemen, he is definitely battling it out the best that he can in the Pro Series here with the rank. Welcome to the chat, Transplant. I hope all is well with you. As we see Eiston trying to chase down Liam McNeil here, going into the final chicane heavily on the brakes. Eiston trying to take a look and seeing if he can get Liam McNeil to make a capitalized move here as they work their way through. Ken Anderson, 3/10 back from Alan Zhu here in that battle as well. We're going to switch over. Ken Anderson definitely got past Alan Zhu here, so we're going to switch back over. Here's Eiston losing a little bit, but that's going to allow Josh Kimball now to take the look on the outside in here in this fight. See what happens here as they go through. Looks like they're separating themselves equally. Glad to be here. Usually watch after stream, but I was able to catch you guys live tonight. Hey, welcome, welcome, welcome. It's truly an honor to have you guys here, especially the Podium Hunter guys. Good friends to the GT Meister racing community, as we definitely like to like to show the love to the communities that we love. And we have 14 minutes left to play, ladies and gentlemen, and Gulzar is in P1 with the fastest lap against Muhammad Irfan as Liam McNeil loses it. Oh, that's going to allow Josh Kimball to make the move back in, but will Liam McNeil take the fight back? He's definitely has had some time to settle in. Josh Kimball around the in. He's going to hold the inside. Liam McNeil now trying to switch back. Here's Liam McNeil now taking the fight to Josh Kimball as they work their way up the hill here. Heavily on the brakes. Liam McNeil taking a look on the inside. Josh Kimball outside. Nose to tail as they work their way onto the back straight up to the final chicane before the two hairpins. The GTMR guys are cooler than a fan. Oh, come on. As they go into the final chicane here, Liam McNeil, a little squirrely out of that Ferrari here as he tries to chase down Josh Kimball. Heavily on the brakes they go, and the leader is now catching up to these guys. Gulzar has caught up to the leaders. So that is definitely going to be an interesting one. Jude Molina and Anthony Molina battling it out, as well as we have the leader catching up to these two of Josh Kimball and Liam McNeil here as we go through. Oh my God, ooh, look at Fife's exit of chicane, all race. Let's go for these drivers. Josh Kimball loses it in the back end. Oh, what a shame there by Josh Kimball. Cursed by the commentator, curse of the chat. As these guys battling it out, as we see right now, Andrew Jaschke, and it looks like one of the Molinas is right behind him, and that's going to be Jude Molina. So the battle between Jaschke and Jude Molina, the two pro drivers here as they work their way down the hill. Jude going super wide, catching the dirt. Then we have Josh Kimball catching the dirt as well. As the drivers work their way through, Jaschke definitely capitalizing on the other drivers' mistakes of Jude Molina. Jude Molina falling behind, catching a lot of that dirt here as they work their way up the hill. As the coach in the chat is horribly upset by the performance, but happy by the performance as well here. But Josh Kimball definitely showcasing his pace of performance in P12 right now for the AM class. As we see Jaschke now separate himself, we're going to work our way back down this grid order here and talk to you about the drivers here in this race. So right now, as of so far, the leader here, Hamza Gulzar in that Huracan Evo here in P1 with the Zealous Motorsports car. Muhammad Irfan in that Aston Martin for the Beach Team AMR car. The Rock here in Optimum Motorsports in that Aston Martin as well. Christopher Shuffler bringing it into P4 here as he's going to work his way around Patrick Allen. Allen closing the door just a little bit, but opening it back up towards the end. Perry Lewis in that Ferrari. Definitely strong performance for the silver driver here. Andre Lloyd for the Podium Hunters group in that P6 spot. Definitely a strong performance for Andre Lloyd here. And then we've got Anthony Molina. He was one of the few drivers that started up in that P4, P5 spot. Has fallen back a little bit, but still manages to stay up into that top 10. And then we've got Easton in the P8, Liam McNeil in the P9 here with Andrew Jaschke in that P10 with Jude Molina here in that P11. Felix Palant is in the Audi in that P13. Felix Palant has been struggling a little bit here in the rain. With that Audi, I don't think that, in my opinion, I don't think that Audi is very strong in ACC in the rain as some of the other cars here, but definitely in the dry, that Audi is super fast and super quick. As we see Jude Molina still now reeling in Andrew Jaschke here towards the final stages of this race here. So the battling is definitely picking up as well as Andrew Jaschke holds off Jude Molina. Molina now, is he going to try a switchback or ascend on the inside in the final hairpin? He doesn't. He's going to try to do a little bit of a line change to try to dig deep here, and it doesn't seem to really work here. The nice thing with rain, ladies and gentlemen, what I love about rain here is the fact that it's the great equalizer. It doesn't matter how fast you are in the dry, the rain equalizes everybody here in this race. As we see Molina trying to hunt down Jaschke as they work their way down the hill. You definitely see Molina's car in the background, definitely holding the brakes, trying to reel him in as much as possible. And it doesn't seem like it's really helping him a lot here as we're going to jump down board. There's Josh Kimball. There's the P2 leader right now, the P2 driver, sorry. And he's going to have the P3 of LaRock right behind him. And here's Felix Palance Audi, the other podium hunter car that Transplate's been asking about. And here he is in P13 trying to do everything he possibly can. Kowal in the back here in P14. I don't think he has pitted yet so far in the race, or if he hasn't taken tires yet. So that's definitely going to be an interesting. Brian Katz showing up here in the Kangaroo Racing car. He's sitting there in that P15 spot. Ken Anderson, I believe he switched to dries on accident after his pit stop, so he had to go dive back into the pits, as Transplate says in the chat. And that Ford is quick in the rain. It seems it is quick in the rain. They've definitely showcased a lot of performance. I know Christopher Scheffler has definitely showed a good amount of ability, but right now Liam McNeil is in the hunt against Easton in that Ford, and right now it is Ferrari versus Ford, and Liam McNeil is holding it down here in that Ferrari as he chases down Easton in this battle. Jude Molina and Andrew Jaski's battle is still duking it out. We have a battle for P8 and a battle for P10, ladies and gentlemen. So this is definitely growing in here in the closing stages with 7 minutes and 13 seconds left to play here in this race. Ooh, looks like Liam McNeil caught a little bit of the curbing there coming out of that chicane, which slowed him down a little bit. Jude Molina still in the background, hunting down Andrew Jaschke here. But let's not forget about the other drivers in the league. We also love the drivers that we have that's towards the further back, because they are what builds the foundation of growth in this league. Let's jump down here. We need to talk about Alan Zhu. Alan Zhu looking super strong there in that P3 spot for the AM class, as well as Matt Ogilvy here in that BMW. He had a very strong performance at Monza, but he seems to have fallen back a little bit, not down, but back a little bit in the pace overall here at Donington. It could be the rain. It could just be the fact that, you know, with the track, it's super tight on limitations of how far you can push. But right now we got James Sparks in the P19 car trying to chase down Matt for an extra position to get and to move up into this AM split. It's definitely going to be an interesting one, to say the least, as Jude Molina still on the back end. Looks like Liam McNeil has fallen to ice in about a second or so, around there. And Jude Molina still chasing down Andrew Jaschke here in this overall fight, as the P2 car, Mohammed Irfan, now trying to catch up to them to leapfrog. So it's definitely an interesting one, to say the least, for this battle here for these drivers here. Jaschke is blinking here a little bit, but Jude Molina trying to recover as much as he possibly can in this race. Same with Jaschke here in this battle. So as of right now, Golzar, Irfan, LaRock, Scheffler, Perry Lewis, Andre Lloyd, Anthony Molina, Easton, Liam McNeil, and Andrew Jaschke is your top 10 with 5 minutes left to play. As we go through, let's take a look here. Do we have any other closer battles here than this here? It looks like James Parks had a little bit of an incident and lost a little bit of time there behind the back end of Matt Ogilvy. So he's lost a little bit. Let's take a look here. Looks like right now the closest battle we have right now is Jude Molina. If anybody has any any requests here in this race, please let me know. We'll definitely get that all squared away and taken care of here, ladies and gentlemen. And we'll definitely showcase one of the drivers that you're taking a look for. So right now, Hamza Gozar has set the hot lap at a 131.882. Irfan right behind him with a 131.905 in that Aston Martin. The question is, will he be able to out-qualify and then reset that pole position here in this race as Jude Molina now takes a look on the back end of Jaschke. Jaschke with a little bit of a snap here. Oh, Jude Molina taking a look on the inside. Can he get a run on the inside of Andrew Jaschke? Oh, Jaschke is able to put the power down, but with 3 minutes left to go, with their pace and chasing down, they are going to catch Liam McNeil very shortly here in this battle. So the battle for P9 is definitely developing. Andrew Jaschke now 1.3 seconds off the pace of Liam McNeil. Can the Unicorn catch Liam McNeil? Liam McNeil goes a little bit wide. Here's the wiggle. That's going to allow Andrew Jaschke on the back end of Liam McNeil. Side by side, they go up the hill. Liam McNeil closing the door, heavily on the brakes. Oh, he definitely closes it through here as they work their way up. Now you have Jude Vincent Molina now on the battle here. Now he's going to allow P2 through. Ooh, it's Irfan. Jaschke losing the back end of it. Now that's going to allow Molina through. This has been the story of Jaschke's race the whole time. The back end stepping out with that Mustang. So now that's going to allow Jude Molina. So the question is, can Jude Molina capitalize on P2 of Irfan working his way through? If Irfan catches Liam McNeil, will Liam McNeil allow Irfan through? Liam McNeil sends it on Alan Zhu. Alan Zhu being the back marker, leaving the door open. He leaves the door further open for Irfan, and then Jude with 2 minutes left to go here. Can Jude capitalize on trying to get past Alan Zhu to make a move here, as now Jaschke's trying to work his way up the grid as well, trying to recapitalize by catching it. So definitely an interesting one to say the least, as Liam McNeil is now driving for Survive here in the wet to capitalize on this top 10 finish overall in this race as they work their way down the hill. Heavily on the brakes here as they go. Beautiful run out of the Ford. That Aston Martin of Irfan definitely reeling in Liam McNeil here. Irfan's going to try to capitalize on the spot that's open to get through the back marker without holding up. Transplant says Kowal has yet to pit. He still has yet to pit. That is very true here. I don't know what the strategy is, but it's very bold. Ooh, beautiful work by Liam McNeil to allow Irfan through, but not losing so much time. And now Jaschke is back into this fight here with Molina here coming into the final chicane. Now Jude now on the attack of Liam McNeil as he's working his way up. Andrew Jaschke on the outside in. Liam McNeil, the door opens up a little bit. Jude sends it in just a hair, just to stick his nose in. But McNeil holds off. We still have 26 left to play. They will have a one-lap battle out here in this fight here as Andrew Jaschke's trying to capitalize on Jude Molina here. Here they go. This is going to be a final lap shootout for these drivers here when the timer counts down. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Final lap battle between these drivers. Here they go down the hill. Liam McNeil, Jude, then with Jaschke in tow as they work their way through left, right into the heavy braking zone. Jude super tight, getting on the back end bumper of Liam McNeil. Liam McNeil gets a snap. So does Molina. And here's this going to allow Jaschke on the attack as they approach here, as they go up the hill here. McNeil now covering, but now that's going to allow Jaschke here to try to make the move. Liam McNeil goes super wide. Molina tries to take a look on the inside, but he can't make it stick here. They go up the hill and the heavy braking zone. Molina now covers up the inside. Jaschke with a snap on the back end of the Ford. Now the Ford trying to get the run on the McLaren. He goes super wide, catching a little bit of the dirt. He's going to lose time. Now can Jude Molina capitalize on the back end of Liam McNeil as they come up to the final chicane? Golzar should be crossing the line. Jude getting a beautiful run. Liam, get a little squirrel. He's going to have to tap the brakes. June Molina gets a drive-through. Oh, June Molina with a drive-through. He's just going to let Jaschke through. He's not going to hold him up through the race. He knows he's going to have to wait for everything. Oh, what a shame there by June Molina. But he was attacking until the entire end of the race. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Hamza Gulzar passes to finish the race in P1. Irfan in P2. LaRock in P3 is about to cross the line, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, what a shame there. Christopher Shuffler. Beautiful masterclass drive for him in that Ford in the rain here as he comes around the final hairpin. And he's going to cross the line. Don't crash out yet, Shuffy. You still have yet to cross. And he crosses in P4. Perry Lewis. Beautiful run by the silver driver. He's going to be crossing the line here very shortly, ladies and gentlemen, in this race here, as he is about to cross the line with the fireworks and the smoke bombs going off. He will be crossing the line in P5. Andre Lloyd, the podium hunter driver, coming through into the final hairpin. He will be making his move here as well. Kowal getting a 130-second penalty for not pitting in this race. Was it a bold strategy? It was. Did it help him? I don't think it did. We have Brian Katz still has yet to come across the line in the Kangaroo Racing Porsche as he goes into the final hairpin here. Sorry, second to last final hairpin as he approaches the hairpin. Ladies and gentlemen, as he approaches here, he's about to work his way around here in this bend. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Your final finishing order. Hamza P1, Irfan P2, LaRock P3, Shuffy P4. It was truly an amazing battle, everybody. Perry Lewis P5, Andre Lloyd P6, Anthony Molina P7, Easton P8, Liam McNeil 9, Jaschke 10, Kimball 11, Felix Palant 12, June Molina 13, Katz 14, Kowal losing out with that plus 132nd down to P15, Ken Anderson 16, and Alan Zhu P17. Thank you very much, Transplant. I try to do the best that I can. For those that are interested in joining us, please join us here at you can join us on thesimgrid.com, or you can join us on our Discord. Join in, ask for Axia or any of the ACC admins. We'd be more than happy to help you get you into the league and get you racing with us. It's been truly an honor to have you guys all here, especially the viewers that have participated and watched. It's truly an honor to have all of you guys here. And that is it for me, ladies and gentlemen. I want to wish you guys all the best weekend. Definitely come check us out. More Friday nights as we will be racing. Next week, we will be at Oulton Park, I believe. Let me double check that for you, ladies and gentlemen, as we go through here before we call it a day here. Let's take a look at the calendar. Friday calendar. We will be at Oulton Park, ladies and gentlemen. And Oulton Park will be a 45-minute shootout. Killer D99, thank you very much for the amazing compliments. But I do it for the drivers. The drivers are what makes this league. Not me. I set it up, but they showcase the real talent and the performance of what GTMR brings. And I just hope that you guys all come and join us here and race with us, because it would be an awesome time to have you guys here with us. And with that, I would like to wish you guys all a wonderful weekend and have a happy and health safety. All right, you guys, take care and have a good night.